A project to make one local playground safer moves forward. Little League players may soon have their own mini Fenway Park. And we chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, March 29th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mantle. A project to improve parking and safety at Luke's Love Playground in West Barnstable moves forward. Town architect Mark Marinaccio talked about the project before the vote.
The existing condition plan that shows the existing field, Luke's Love Playground, the Old Selectmen's Building, and the West Barnstable Community Building, and the parking layout. Here's some site photographs. This time of year it gets pretty muddy out there. There's parking on the hill over near Luke's Love, and there's a gravel parking lot, and the field is in pretty rough condition.
You're not kidding.
This was early design showing the relocation of Luke's Love and kind of organizing the parking a little better, reorienting the field a little bit, and putting in some improvements. And this is the current plan that's been approved by Old Kings Highway. It's been reviewed by site plan review. And what we're looking for is some funding. There's a CIP currently in for funding this year. We're looking to get some approval from community preservation for some funds to help with the cost of this for open space. The ball field, I think, is eligible. Some of the site work is eligible, lighting, and that's how the fees break down.
The Community Preservation Committee voted to move the project to formal application status. It will go before the committee again for approval before it is presented to Town Council. Barnstable Little League players may soon be able to play at their very own Fenway Park. Joe Scott, president of Barnstable Little League, says the project will help attract more kids to the program and help improve the area.
Before you tonight to request a $125,000 to help with construction costs to, as you said, help construct Fenway Cape Cod down at the Lyndon Paul LaRusso complex in Hyannis. This field will be geared towards our 6 to 8-year-old program. We've been throwing a lot of ideas around over the years about how to attract more kids to our program, and this idea came up over the winter. It will fit right into that corner of the field that we're currently using there. We have gotten recreation support on this. We've gotten school committee permission to build this field. We have quite a few people in the town that are interested in helping us with this project. And the league plans on taking all construction under its wing and maintaining this facility for the near future.
The Community Preservation Committee voted to move the project to formal application status. It will go before the committee again before being presented to Town Council. Barnstable police subdue a naked man wielding a knife. To learn more, Channel 18's Sarah Colvin talks with Police Chief Paul McDonald.
I want to talk, we'll kind of do the recap of events that happened over the past week, and there was a rather unusual event that occurred that people are talking about. Tell me a little bit about this incident involving a gentleman with a knife.
The incident happened early Sunday morning, about 7 o'clock Sunday morning. We get a call for a West Barnstable address regarding an individual who was having some type of psychotic episode and was in possession of a knife. Several officers responded out there, and upon their arrival, they were confronted at the front door by an individual who was naked, was not wearing any clothes, and was armed with a knife. They engaged with him in conversation. They asked him to step out of the house because they knew there were other individuals inside the house. He did come out on the front lawn and did have somewhat of a conversation. He was not making any sense with the police officers. They tried multiple times to have him drop his weapon. He did not. At one point, he came towards the officers in an aggressive manner, and the officers did a great job, did an unbelievable job. They used their tasers. They tased the individual. He went down. They then again tried to engage him in conversation because he would not drop the weapon. He then stood up again. He then tried to walk away from the officers, walking towards Tinny Neck Road. They followed him. He then turned to the officers and then rushed at the officers. They again tased him again. He went down. This time they were able to hold him on the ground, and as other officers responded, they were able to eventually disarm the individual. So the officers did a fantastic job, and thank God we have the tasers. If you look back in the Boston Herald just 3 days earlier, I believe the Braintree Police Department faced a similar incident where an individual was involved in a domestic dispute. He left the house. He ran from the police. The police found him hiding underneath a vehicle. They confronted him. And that turned out to a point where they used less lethal force. They used a beanbag round. That did not stop the individual, and they ended up shooting the individual. The individual subsequently, he did die. This one, we got to use the tasers, and the tasers did a great job. We eventually did disarm him. He was not injured, and he was brought to the Cape Cod Hospital.
Absolutely. So, so many questions, Chief. Again, when we're talking about a man brandishing a knife, what kind of, was it a large knife? Was it like a weapon knife, or was it more like a kitchen knife?
It was a 4.5-inch military-style folding knife. One of those knives that the police officers all carry. They're extremely sharp and they're extremely effective. It was not a large kitchen knife. The blade was 4.5 inches long.
Yikes. So certainly a formidable weapon. Chief, any concerns? I mean, to me, this sounds a lot like when we were talking about incidents involving bath salts when
Yes.
people would go into...
Well, that was our first question. The gentleman does not live there. He's a Florida resident. He was up visiting his parents. We did have conversation with the parents. We did try to go into the room. There was no sign of any type of narcotics abuse or use. We know he did have some type of family problems, but it is possibly could be one of those things where it was just a mental breakdown. We see no signs of any type of drug use or drug addiction. He has no past history of using type of narcotics. He has no criminal record. This is something where sometimes your plate gets too full and you have these breakdowns.
Absolutely. So where is the man in question at this point, Chief?
He was brought to the hospital, and as of yesterday afternoon, he was waiting to be evaluated by the psychiatrist. We hope it all works out for him. We are thrilled that no one got hurt. And this goes back. When we first got the tasers, 9 years ago, people were not really on board with us. We were one of the first departments in New England to get the tasers. But to me, the tasers have saved so many lives and has prevented so many people from not getting injured, including police officers not getting injured. It gives them another tool in the toolbox to go back to rather than use deadly force. They can step back from the situation, try to diffuse the situation, and use something besides a sidearm. So we're great to have that opportunity, and although it's a difficult situation for the individual, hopefully they'll get the help he needs, and this will all work out.
And as you say, as compared to the incident in Braintree, where the victim unfortunately died, it's as you said, it's great to be able to have that tool. What happens when someone gets tased, Chief?
Well, you get tased. 90% of our officers carry tasers, and part of the training for the tasers is everyone has to experience the deployment. And when you are tased, the taser has two prongs. They're both discharged. Both prongs have to make contact, and what that does, it interferes with the brain waves being sent to the muscle system. It's extremely painful. It's a 5-second ride. Its deployment lasts for 5 seconds. The individual will usually almost automatically go to the ground, cringe in pain, and at the end of 5 seconds, it's over. And the idea of that, within the 5 seconds, is the backup officers will have an opportunity to go in there and handcuff him while he's being tased. But the good thing about this is once you've been tased, and once that 5 seconds is over, there is no ill effects. There are no side effects. There are no injuries. There are no pain. There is no damage to the individual.
Absolutely, and just as you say, kind of disables you for 5 seconds, and as this example shows, really gives enough time to be able to subdue someone who just is resisting the help the officer is trying to provide.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of those instances where there's all kinds of use of force could be used. We have baton. We could have used the baton, but the baton is a crushing instrument. If you use a baton, hit somebody in the forearm, hit somebody in the legs, hit somebody in the shin, that's going to be extremely painful. It will leave a mark, or it could leave a permanent injury, or it could break a bone. And the taser is the best option because there are no injuries associated with the taser. So the taser it's a great tool, and I applaud the town for funding them and providing them to us.
Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we were going to chat with DPW Director Dan Santos. We'll talk with Finance Director Mark Milne. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.